so good for you.
Don't worry about me. I'm an American. Have gun will travel.
So guess what? Downton Abbey is officially wrapping things up, and they've just shown the very first look at the final film at CinemaCon. It's called Downton Abbey: The Grand Finale, and it's hitting theaters this September. This movie is meant to be the grand send-off for the entire series, wrapping up not just 6 seasons of TV, but also the 2 previous movies. Basically, it's one last elegant bow for the Crawleys and their iconic estate. Now, they haven't spilled a ton of plot details yet, which isn't super surprising, but what we do know is that pretty much everyone is coming back. That includes fan favorites like Michelle Dockery, Joanne Froggatt, Alan Leach, Robert James Collier, and Jim Carter. Honestly, the gang's all here. It's definitely shaping up to be a reunion with all the drama and charm that made the series such a hit in the first place. At CinemaCon, Universal had a whole presentation, and Focus Features shared some brand new info during it. Screen Rant had someone there, Mansoor Mithaiwala, and he gave a play-by-play of the teaser trailer that was shown. According to him, the footage starts on a horse track, and we see the Crawley family there, looking sharp as always. Carson, yes, the ever-dutiful butler, says, "Welcome to 1930. So we're moving into a brand new decade, which feels like a pretty big deal, considering how much change the 1920s brought for everyone in the story. Lady Mary and Lady Edith show up in the trailer a few times, and it's clear they're still front and center. One by one, the original cast members are seen returning to Downton Abbey, and there's this really striking shot of Lady Mary wearing a red dress. It definitely stands out. The trailer has all these quick glimpses of parties and celebrations, people laughing and dancing, so even though it's called the grand finale, it doesn't look like it's all doom and gloom. The very last shot is especially emotional. It shows Robert kissing his hand and then placing it on the side of the Abbey. That moment alone feels like a silent goodbye to the home and everything it's meant to the family. So what does all of this mean for the grand finale? Honestly, it looks like it's going to be a warm, emotional ride. The setting in 1930 hints at more big changes because, let's be real, every time the show moved into a new era, something huge happened. Whether it was world wars, shifting class structures, or even just how the Crawleys kept trying to keep the estate running. So the 1930s could bring anything from political shifts to personal upheaval. And since the last movie, Downton Abbey: A New Era, took place in 1928, this new film includes a 2-year time jump. That's not a huge gap, but it's enough to suggest some significant changes have probably occurred off-screen. While they're not saying outright that this will be the Crawleys' final goodbye to the Abbey, Robert's touching gesture toward the building really hints at it. Even if they don't leave the estate permanently, there's this sense that the family, and the audience, is being asked to appreciate what Downton has represented all these years. But here's the good news. It doesn't look like it'll be a sad farewell. Sure, there'll probably be some tears, but the teaser makes it clear there'll be joy too. Maybe it's the kind of ending that's bittersweet. Sad because it's the end, but happy because of how far everyone has come. One thing that makes this movie extra emotional is that it's the first installment without Maggie Smith's iconic Dowager Countess, Violet. Her character passed away at the end of A New Era, and sadly, Maggie Smith herself passed away in 2024. So even though Violet won't be physically present in the grand finale, you can bet her presence will be felt. I mean, she was such a cornerstone of the series, sharp-tongued, hilarious, and wise in her own way. This film will probably pay tribute to both the character and the incredible actress behind her. The full title, Downton Abbey: The Grand Finale, was revealed along with a new poster. It's a beautiful image. There's a woman in a red dress, most likely Lady Mary, walking away from the camera down one of the estate's gorgeous hallways. Underneath the movie's title is a tagline that reads, "The time has come to say goodbye." And let's be honest, between that line and the subtitle, they're not exactly being subtle. It's clear this is meant to be the end of the road for the franchise, or at least for this chapter of it. Of course, even though this movie is being marketed as the last one, it's always possible the Downton universe could continue in some way. Like, just because it's a grand finale doesn't necessarily mean it's the finale, you know? There are plenty of examples in Hollywood where something was labeled final and then more installments came out later. Think about Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter. That one ended up getting 8 more sequels. And Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare? That wasn't even close to the end for Freddy Krueger. So while this might be the end for the Crawleys as we know them, it wouldn't be shocking if we got some kind of spin-off or prequel down the line, maybe a look at earlier generations of the family, or a series about the younger characters in a new setting. So even if this really is the last hurrah, it kinda makes sense. The original show covered a lot of ground, story-wise and time-wise. It started in 1912 with the sinking of the Titanic, and went all the way through to 1926. Then the movies kept it going, with events in 1927 and 1928. So we followed this family and their staff through a huge chunk of history. There's only so much more you can realistically do without it starting to feel a little forced. And let's not forget the previous movies were solid hits. The first one in 2019 had an 84% score on Rotten Tomatoes, and it made nearly $195 million on a $20 million budget, which is seriously impressive for a period drama. The second one, A New Era, did slightly less at the box office, $92 million on a $40 million budget, but it was still well received by critics. If the grand finale ends up outperforming both, who knows? They might decide there's still more story to tell after all. But even if they do stop here, it looks like they're going all out. The poster, the title, the visuals, all of it suggests that this final chapter will be as lush and elegant as ever. Sure, the Crawleys have had their fair share of money problems and social challenges over the years, but Downton Abbey has always maintained a certain grandeur, and that definitely comes through in everything we've seen so far. So whether the finale ends with the family leaving the estate for good or simply closing a long chapter of their lives, we can count on the journey being beautiful, emotional, and true to the spirit of the series. At the end of the day, Downton Abbey has meant a lot to a lot of people. It gave us unforgettable characters, beautiful settings, and more tea-drinking scenes than any other show in history. So if the grand finale is how it all ends, it feels like the right way to say goodbye. And that wraps up today's video. If you want to stay in the loop with all the latest movie and series news, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give us a big thumbs up, because I'll be bringing you more updates on upcoming movies before they even drop, so keep an eye out for that, along with the latest on your other favorite shows and movies. Stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next one.
He wanted to practice chronophotography here.
It's not the Stone Age, Papa. You mean he wants to make a film at Downton?
What did you say?
I let him down gently.
Then I'll bring him back.
I never got a chance to say how exciting it is that you're here. I love your pictures.